Can I start? Okay. Welcome to Youngstown State Week. Excited about this week, really. This should be a fun week for us to get back to work. Looking forward to today, getting back out there and practicing. Got a whole bunch of things that we can work on from the game here last weekend. Just got to keep improving. Got to, getting out there practicing and improving is obviously going to be important each and every week. This week is no different. First home games are always great. I wouldn't have scripted it any better, honestly. I mean, you guys know my feelings on neutral site games, and to be able to win that game is going to give us a whole lot of momentum. I thought that the previous two that we lost, I thought gave us momentum moving forward. So being able to win one of those is going to give us a lot of momentum moving forward, and then you got to be able to come back and open up at home, here on Mountaineer Field. So 6 o'clock game, looking forward to that. That should be great for our fans. Would assume there's going to be a lot of people there, right, Mike? I think there's 12,000 student tickets that are already accounted for. So 6 o'clock game, night game, weather should be great. Man trip should be great. Good crowd, good opponent and all the rest of it. So is going to be fun for me to prepare this week to get ready to win. Youngstown State, we know what we're getting with these guys. Faced them 2 years ago. They gave us everything that we wanted 2 years ago. It was 14-14 at halftime. They came out, and I think we went up 24-14. Then they scored again. It was a challenge, and we know what their program is all about. They're in my opinion, the best FCS conference that exists, with North Dakota State and UNI and South Dakota State. That group, that's good football now, and it doesn't stop with them. There's about 8 of them in there that are all real good. They got national championships. They've been playing good football there at Youngstown State for a long time. Obviously got a lot of respect for Bo Pelini. As good of a defensive coordinator that exists out there. We go way back. I faced him when I was at Oklahoma State, and then a couple years ago as well. So he said it best. They didn't deserve to win last week. Anybody can beat anybody if you don't respect the game and if you don't prepare to play. That's what he said, in his press conference. And as coaches, we all understand that. So we can use that as motivation for us. I mean, it happens every week. We don't even really have to talk about it anymore. FCS teams beat FBS teams every single week. It happens. It's going to happen this week. And our goal and our job is to make sure it doesn't happen to us. So we're going to take this very, very, very seriously and prepare just like we did last week. I think we have a veteran group of guys that like football that are looking forward just the overall aspect of being able to prepare the right way and go out and be able to try to meet our goal, which is to win each and every week. What they're doing offensively is the same as what it was a couple years ago. Got a transfer quarterback, the Van Gorder. We all know the name. They got another guy that may or may not play due to an injury. We'll see which one they come out with. They're going to hand the ball off a good bit. It's a lot like probably what we saw last week with Tennessee. They're going to use fullbacks and tight ends and try to control the game a little bit. Handed it to their back, the McCaster kid, about 30 times last week. So good little player. They got some good experienced guys up front. A couple of receivers that I thought were quality receivers. I don't know how many touchdowns they got called back, but they got 2 or 3 of them called back from their receivers. So they got some good little players, and we're going to have to do a good job defensively controlling that. When you think of them, what stands out to me with where they were 2 years ago, their quarterback play was really good 2 years ago, and their defense was outstanding. They have, I think 5 of those guys that we played against are all in the NFL right now. So they got quality players, and then what they do defensively is as sound as it gets. not a whole lot different than what we've seen out of them in the past. I mean, they're gonna play a 4 down front, and they're gonna blitz you when they need to, and they're gonna try to funnel everything to their safeties. It's the same stuff that they've been doing for a long time, and we got plenty of video to be able to figure out how to attack it. Special teams, they don't ignore it. The same kicker, same punter is what we faced a couple years ago out here. You know, and they're both two. You know, you got one of the Stoops brothers that's heading up the special teams aspect of it. They're very sound with what they do, and will be a good chance for us to continue to improve our stuff as well. So, looking forward to the game. Celebrating the '88 team. Is that what I hear? Geez, you know, that brought back some memories, you know, thinking about that. Looking forward to, I've met a lot of those guys, obviously, over the course of the last 8 years coming back. You know, that's when I graduated high school, so I guess my 30th reunion is coming up here. That in itself is disturbing to me, but I remember wearing a West Virginia shirt my senior year in West Virginia sweatshirt my senior year in high school. And it was because of that '88 team. You know, they were undefeated, and obviously Major Harris, Don Nealon, Coach Nealon, and all those guys I admired from afar. And here we are 30 years later, me behind this podium, and we're celebrating the '88 team this weekend as well. So should be another great weekend. Last weekend was a great weekend to be a Mountaineer and a Mountaineer fan, and I expect nothing different this weekend. Got some questions?
Dana, based on just traditional changes from week 1 to week 2, whether you're good or bad in the opener, do you tweak a lot, or you just sort of have already identified what you're doing and stick with the status quo?
Don't know really how else to do it. I don't know how many people truly change what they do from game 1 to game 12, really. There's only so many hours in a day and so many practice reps in a day, so there's probably still things out there that, well, it's not even probably, there's things out there that we didn't show, there's things out there that they probably didn't show. You know, especially with the veteran group like we got. You know, there was some, and these have already been talked about, but there were some changes offensively, some changes defensively that we threw out there that are noticeable, and there's probably some more up our sleeve that will come down the road. But that's not going to be stuff that we install right now. That's been stuff that's been worked on all spring and all summer and all camp. When we feel like it's appropriate to bring some of the new stuff out, then we will. And I'm sure Youngstown and our future opponents are the same way.
Are you happy with the number of players you got in the game on Saturday?
I was. You know, that number will probably go up a little bit, you know, maybe a little bit, but the overall number of snaps, some of those guys were 2 snaps or 3 snaps, or, you know, a lot of them were less than 5, you know, because there is a unordinary amount of snaps on that game in Saturday. 61 offense, 63 defense, or vice versa. You know, and, you know, relatively small amount of special team snaps just because of how that game played out. It was a possession game. So as those snaps go up, which we all know they will, especially in the league that we're in, whether that 58 goes up into the 60s or whether just the total number of plays on players 40 through 58 goes up, I would definitely think that's going to happen. Was overall pleased with it. I need more snaps out of players 40 through 58 to be able to evaluate them a little bit better.
Other than the catches, what was your evaluation of the tight ends, and were you happy with all the different formations, alignments you got to see them in?
Yeah, it's been something we've been working towards for quite some time. Kind of kept it under wraps as much as we possibly can or could based on this first game. You know, I think Giovanni needs to play more. I thought he played pretty good, but he got like 11 snaps in on offense. I'd like to see that number go up a little bit. You know, Wesco, the one catch he made over the middle really impressed me. I hadn't seen a lot out of that. his blocking ability has been what's impressed me more than anybody. He's 275 pounds, and he can block about any defender that you put in front of him. So I was happy with the way he played overall, and we'll continue to get Giovanni. And, Tim has got in there a couple of times. We'll keep experimenting with those guys and where they align and what we ask them to do.
Running back situation, what was your take on that after the game?
Good. Was disappointed Kennedy fumbled. We told him at halftime, I was like, "You ready to roll?" And he said, "I'm ready." I said, "All right, you better get ready because you're about to get the ball a good bit." And he was good. He went out there, he caught a touchdown pass his first play, and then put him back in there, and he was running hard. Can't turn the ball over in that situation. Petaway, I thought, played overall great. Sank looked explosive when we threw it to him, and I think he's a powerful guy that's going to keep getting better. So there's a role. All four of them have a role, and we're going to need all four of them, that's for sure.
That kind of a tip-off that you want to keep somebody back for fresh legs in the second half, though?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said to him. I said, you should be the freshest player on the field. Go out there and prove it.
Dana, any of the true freshmen who didn't play this past Saturday that you still think have opportunity?
They all have an opportunity. I mean, that's what I told them on Sunday. We dressed out 8 of them that didn't play. There's a couple that, a couple that aren't going to play, but we don't need a couple of those O lineman, D lineman guys to play at this point. But there's some other ones that's going to be up to them and how they practice and how they improve. And some are going to probably do a better job of that than others. But there's 8 of them that dressed that didn't play. We'll see how they do this week and probably dress all 8 of them. And if we feel like it's warranted to play them, then we'll go ahead and play them.
What did you see from your run blocking, and how did the interior guys do?
It's okay. Just okay. I thought our pass protection was pretty good. Thought the run blocking was okay. Their front was good now. Don't kid yourself. They're all 4- or 5-star guys. You guys talk about 4- or 5-star guys all the time. They had those guys. They were pretty good up front. So, and they started to outnumber us. And I thought Will did a good job of getting us into appropriate plays, but it wasn't anything great, but it was okay, and I think it'll continue to get better.
It seemed like they showed you more man than maybe
Agree.
the Big 12 guys ever do.
Agree. Which surprised me a little bit because he was it's not what he was alluding to in his press conferences prior to the game. And that's why Will did a good job in the second half. That first half was kind of just okay. We're trying to figure out what was going on. I think we only had like 18 snaps in the first half too, so we didn't have a lot of snaps and didn't have a lot of time to get going. Did a better job in the second half of identifying what they were doing, and changing some pass plays to run plays and some run plays to pass plays, that sort of thing. I thought Will did a really good job of that in the second half, and was incredibly efficient in moving the ball forward.
Dan, what effect does the injury have on your linebacking now, and how are you going to, does that make you have to make any changes or anything?
Well, injuries affect everything. We're not going to sit here and pout about it. It's a part of the game, and we're prepared for any of our guys for that to happen too. It's an unfortunate thing about the game, but it's never going to go away. So it's what we always talk about. Guys need to step up and go play. I thought Shea Campbell did a good job of going in there. Kid never played college football before. And Shea went in there and did a good job. Guys like X Relow and Josh Chandler, who are freshmen, need to quit being freshmen and grow up and play ball. Guys like Adam Hensley and Zach Sandwich, who have been here for three years now, need to produce. They need to earn their scholarship and they need to produce. Still got Qualls and Ferns who are rehabbing their tail off, who are getting closer to being able to get out there and play football. So It's part of it, but that's why we got 85 scholarships, and guys that are the next guy up need to step up and play, and I expect them to do that.
No change in the expected returns or quals and ferns. I mean, some.
I'd let you know when it's getting close, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, one game and looking around what other teams have done, if you start to figure out the kickoff thing and how teams might approach it or how you might approach it?
I studied it a good bit. You know, there's got to be an internal clock on how high that ball is and where it's located and what your return is. You know, and I've been talking to Marcus about that a lot. And you're talking about the kickoff return aspect of it, right? Yeah, and I've been talking to Marcus about it a lot, and you know, I thought he did good on all three. You know, I didn't think he was going to run all the way across the field to catch that third one. But after seeing his second one, when he caught it and got shot out of a cannon and almost was about a split second away from being able to bust that thing, they adjusted their kick real quick. So I think we're going to have to get used to alternate kicks. You know, we're going to face some pretty dang good return guys too now, to where we're going to have to start thinking about that stuff as well. I think it's going to be good for the overall aspect of the game, the safety aspect of it, but you got to be smart about when you use it and when you don't.
You talked about, you touched upon Will's ability to make reads and calls. Explain a little bit about what he has to go through doing that and how hard that is and how much time to put into it.
It's really, you heard me talking about Skyler when it comes to this too. It's why the second year playing quarterback's always easier than the first year. The first year you're trying to figure everything out, trying to gain, you know, timing with the receivers and understand the offense and play ball and all that stuff. Second year is always a lot easier. And really, this is the third year. You know, you redshirted, you played. Even Skyler redshirted, played. You know, Trickett's first year was pretty bad, and then second year it was a lot slower. Just overall comfortability of just the overall offense in general, you know, slows things down. And when you look at things, you have answers, you know, to where year one you look at things and say, I don't like that, but I don't know what else to call, so I snap the ball. You know, so it's just experience more than anything.
Okay,
Awesome.
Coach.
All right, y'all. See you all Saturday.